That right there would be the park and ride I'm on if I wasn't on the longboard. On the way in, it was nice and dry, but I had a horrendous commute because the road, a pretty large stretch of this road was just closed. And you know when you're just driving up to a roundabout and I'm indicating right to come off the roundabout and then I just see closed signs. So I'm forced up left and I'm like, shit, I need to get right. So I'm just like going up this road. Google thinks that road's open. It keeps trying to navigate me to turn around. And I'm like going down these country tracks, like I'm getting here, so I'm going along, taking a right, taking a right, taking a right, road closed, left, and then right, left, right, and then finally managed to get there. It took me an hour, 50 minutes to get to the park and ride. Normally it takes me about half an hour. And then I was longboarding, I was bucketing it across Bath to get to work in a semi-decent time. Park and ride was actually the park and ride before the time I got there, so I did actually manage to catch up with it, which was pretty good. Otherwise though, I also longboarded on the way back. It was like a 10% chance of rain all day today, but it was a lot colder, so it was actually quite wet when I came back. And I was on the board and I'm like, do I go to the bus? Do I go for it? And I'm like, the roads are actually quite dry. The pavement and the bit by the river will be wet. So I put my light on my backpack, got my little torchlight out, and I just went along the road. And I was doing, it was like fucking Casey Neistat in New York City. I was like 20 mile an hour around traffic. It was great. It was wicked. Like in mostly standing traffic, and then there's every now and again where they got to like 30, and I'm like, God, this is a bit scary actually. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good going. And I actually blasted back because I kind of take the scenic route along the river normally. That takes like 15 minutes. That took me less than 10. I was like, boom, straight off, because obviously I'm going full speed as well, because I'm not full speed, I'm going pretty quick, because I don't want to be slow on the road, you know what I mean? I want to be like cyclist fast, or faster. Otherwise, today was a bit of a non-day. We've had some technical issues with our databases, which means our dev environment's been down. It's given me lots of time to iterate over a couple of bugs though. We fixed 3 bugs, one of which was like a 3-hour long debate, basically, about if you're filling in a form and you switch context between like 2 different possible paths, should you clear all of the options that you put in the previous path? Which is like, or should you persist whatever you've input? So if you started inputting a branch and then you swap to another branch and then you want to swap back, then you keep all of that information there. What we wanted was for you to clear it always, unless you're editing an existing form. And so if you swap context, it'll completely wipe it, unless you're editing an existing form, in which case when it loads, it opens up in the branch that you're on. You can edit that as much as you want, swap as much as you want, but then if you swap back, it will load what was loaded on the database. And I'm like, that sounds arse backwards, man. I managed to win everyone around to persisting it always. So you can swap as much as you want, but you can always remember it. So yeah, that was interesting like to see how other people thought about that, because I thought it was a bit of a no-brainer personally, but a lot of other people had like good reasons to why they wanted it a different way. It was shopping night tonight. I'm doing well with my naps, doing very well. I'm napping at work and at home quite well, so I think we might be in the swing of it, although obviously touch wood. Something else I needed to say as well, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, that commute in this morning, I wanted to talk about that on the longboarding way in, but like I say, I was booked in it. So you know that feeling when you spend 15 minutes writing a Stack Overflow question only to figure out what the answer is before you hit the post button. God damn. A little bit too wet today for the old longboard, so I'm bussing, and the traffic is bad. You can tell the kids are back at school. By the time April spins around, I'll be able to swap the wheels on my longboard and then just come in on the longboard every day. Well, every day that it's dry, and then I will, any day that it's wet like today, I will just drive and get the bus. To be fair, it's still pretty good getting it from the park and ride here, because it does save me about like £3 a day, which isn't insignificant at all. Having said that though, it is nice every now and again just kind of, if the drive was better, in a way, it would be nice to just be able to go and then just sit on a bus and just read for a little bit, you know. I'm coming to the end of a book. It's like coming to, I'm in like the last couple of percent, so it's basically finished already. So I've got to pick up a new book after that, but I've quite enjoyed it, just reading on the bus. Look at this, boys. It's 8:15 in the evening, and I'm heading out with a gym bag. Say that I've started to notice or think that I might be getting a bit heavier and I don't want my metabolism to pack in. So I'm going to try and find a swimming session at a local swimming baths, which actually isn't that far. It's about half-hour walk away, so I'm walking because Laura's got the car, because she's in Netball. And I'm going to see if I can find a session where it's like quiet enough for me to go. So I'm literally going the hour before it closes. Don't get me wrong, like I'll be making jokes about how I'm getting fat, but I'm not getting fat. This is the bad battery. I don't want my metabolism packing up on me, and I don't really live that healthy a lifestyle at the moment. So, especially now I longboard instead of cycle. Not that I ever cycled anyway. To be fair, also, if nothing at all, this is a really good walk. I need a dog. And I could walk the dog and I don't have to go swimming. What will be interesting is the interaction between this exercise and my sleeping pattern. So, Mark 2 of the experiment. In all honesty, I'm still a good distance away. I thought it was here. It's further than I thought it was. I was thinking about jogging there, but it's a bit cold, so I've got my scarf on. That was hard. Did 1,000 metres, which I'm not too sniffed at, which is good. I've got no upper body strength though. God. Not sure how convenient this swimming thing is without the car. But the swimming, it's like nice and empty, relatively quiet. So that's good. It's just whether or not swimming this late at night works for me. Because like I say, I'm going to be going to sleep in less than an hour now. And I'm not sure whether that's good or not. It's a bit of an experiment, like I say. Fair dues for Laura picking me up, but she's a lot of hard work. That's where I said. Microsoft have fixed their stuff. It's like Christmas. I went to bed and our web page wasn't working. And I woke up and it was again. Beautiful. When my alarm went off, I was, I always do this actually. When my alarm went off at 2 o'clock, I kind of like look at the clock and then go, oh God, I've missed the chance to get up at 2. I think in my head it's 6. And I'm lying there and I'm like, oh fuck's sake. And I'm like doing the things I normally do before getting ready to go in the shower. Like building up the courage to get out of the warm bed, all the normal stuff. I don't know whether it's because my alarm's like 2:05 instead of 5:06 or something like that. So by the time I look at it, it's like 6:02 and it looks a bit like the wrong way. I don't know what it is. When you realise it's 2 and you can actually get up, you're like, oh. But anyway, that's sorted. I'm going to do my own thing. Make myself a cup of tea, because by the time I got home last night, it wasn't late enough. It wasn't early enough to have a proper cup of tea. So I was running late this morning, so I missed my bus by like 30 minutes. So I'm actually like, I should be in work now, or as of a couple of minutes ago. Well, actually, oh no, of course that's the wrong time. It's a clock shop. No, significantly, I'm pretty late. But I was just fixing bugs in the car park and on the bus, so I was still working. Frankly, that was like the only bit of code I wrote today, because it was just all, well, we were like getting the first thing through test, which was good, but we got that all signed off, happy days, smashed in a PR, and then like the afternoon was all meetings. Tomorrow's going to be all meetings. It's very frustrating. I just want to write some code. That's all I want to do in my little life. I don't want meetings. But that's life. I'm also at that point where like I just want a full night's sleep, and I'm like, you can't, man. You can't do it. You gotta power through this little bit. I'm like, I've got past the first bit, and I'm like getting to the bit now where it's like difficult to nap again, and then you'll be in, and then it's plain sailing. As of this weekend, it'll be plain sailing, but until then, actually doing the flip of everything I just said. I'm a bit stressed at the moment, so I'm not. It's like 11:30. I'm not gonna be able to get to sleep, so I'm gonna play Xbox for a little bit. I'm gonna like stay up really late, and then not wake up, instead of sleep for like less than an hour and then wake up. I'm gonna try and play Xbox, I'm gonna try and chill out for a little bit, maybe do some programming, go to bed like 2ish, and then wake up at 6. Or something similar. Obviously carry on my naps as per. You join me, sat in my car, and ignore that, that's the, I'm due a service. I'm getting it serviced next month. Pondering the psychology of the speed dial, right? So, at some point, someone decided that this would be the dial. My car can't hit 145, it can't hit 110. I doubt it could cross 100, to be honest with you. So why is it that we decided to put it like that? I bet there's some kind of psychological difference between, like, if, let's say top speed is 100, you put 100 right at this very far right. I bet people would drive really differently. And I bet that'd be a really interesting study to read, is the effect of the dial on the effects of how someone drives. And I bet that's been done. Just been sat here looking at it like, because in someone else's car, in like Dad's car, 80 is at the top. And that car is faster than ours. Maybe it goes to 155 on the dial. I don't know. But like the idea of putting the national speed limit at the top instead of like halfway around the other side, I wonder what effect that has on someone's state of driving. Mr. Audi, do you want to stick your nose out any further? Jesus. Back, and I'm rested, and now I'm about to start doing dinner. Laura's not going to be back until later tonight. Not too late. I actually don't have that much time, particularly. I've got like 2 hours, which, including cooking time, is basically 45 minutes. We're going together a lamb orzo, but as is always the way, this person here, never, ever, in a million years remembers to get stuff out of the freezer. It's Laura's job. Laura does it every day, except when she's not eating the dinner, and punishes me. In my usual manner, whenever I'm on my own, I often make lamb orzo, so that's what I'm making. Otherwise, I need to find some time to do some work, like on my work. We went through a code review and something came out of it which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't necessarily understand. And I'm just going to go through and like tidy it all up and make it like perfect. Because we made some crazy idea as we left work today. They were basically going to start the entire view again and put it all into a view component, which I'm all for, but I think it's a bit aggressive considering it's not actually needed. When we could do this thing and just create a function. But I feel like there's some cognitive reason why it is we don't like functions, and I don't know what that is. So I need to get it right, make sure it works, prove to myself that it works how I think it works in my head, and then go in tomorrow and be like, before I authorise fucking over our entire sprint to do this, can you explain what's wrong with this, please? First, unfortunately, one has to cook myself some dinner. I said that, obviously tonight I've got all night, so I don't really want to spend all night on it, but we'll find out, boy. Microwavable my arse. Also, it's not even hot. It's just, it's cold. Still. So it's not like I've... What? Turns out that I actually had literally zero time. The cooking seemed to take forever, and then everything went wrong. Obviously, I broke the plate. I burnt the garlic bread, dropped the pan on the floor while I was carrying something else. I couldn't catch it because obviously it's going to be fucking hot. It was an enjoyable experience. And then literally I put my last mouthful in, put my shoes on, went to go pick up Laura. Otherwise though, woke up at the normal time and I have fixed up the thing that we were doing. But it's a question of like whether like we want to bind this thing in Vue into a data model. But my argument is that it's literally just for the user. Like, we don't care about the value of this result. We just want to display it. It's like a summary. With the API, it doesn't give a damn. Nothing else gives a damn. And like, I don't know what's wrong with just calling a function and doing it like that. So, like, I bind the label to the result of a function, which is bound to the things that it should be bound to. So it triggers on the same stuff and all that kind of stuff. And we literally was like, well, let's turn the entire page into a view component and then we can avoid this issue we're going to have. I'm like, but we're not having that issue at the moment. We might never have that issue, theoretically. Like, we're being agile, we deliberately decided to face that issue that you're thinking about later. And so yeah, what I did was I tidied up all of the implementation of it, made it all nice and squeaky clean, updated the PR, which is how this came about in a way. The PR got rejected on the grounds that we're using a really dirty function, and we shouldn't have been using that function. But I've tidied it up now, it's now really fucking clean. But it got rejected on those grounds, and then we were looking into ways of doing it the other way, and then I pitched like a semi-clean version, and now I've got like full clean. It's spotless. Like, I need to understand why it is that we can't do functions, because I think there's some I always say psychological, philosophical reason as to why we don't want to do it like that. But to me, I don't know what that is, and until I know what that is, I'm never going to be happy with just gutting the entire page and starting again at the end of our sprint when we might miss a sprint goal. So otherwise, that's done. We'll see how that goes tomorrow. I'll let you know. And then otherwise, I'm having myself an orange. That's what I came in for. Orange and a drink. And I am just finishing off some mappers for my project, which is always good fun. I like the joy of like writing the code all the way through, and then I'm like, right, okay, now I've got to actually implement all these fucking mappers. Happy days. Literally 90%, well actually probably not on my project in fairness, but 90% of the things we do at work is just, you take data from the user, you map it 4 times, save it in a database, then pull it all the way back out again, and then just handle issues. Like handle if it's not found, or handle if it's the wrong type, and all that kind of stuff. That's literally all we do. My project's slightly different, but I've not got to the bits where it actually is different. But that's software development for. I'm getting sick to death of trying to balance this on the back seat. Has it fallen over or damaged itself? No. Okay, that's the only way it fits. Put it in the boot like that, but like the other way round, then you're able to put your, like my work bag in my backpack, I can like wedge it so it doesn't rock. When I first took it, it was rocking because I put it in that way so that the battery and the wheels were facing forwards. If you put the battery and the wheels facing backwards, then you've got more room to wedge the rest of it, so it'll rock away from the wheels for obvious reasons. It was a pretty go day. We were getting things through test, we were doing rebases and all that kind of stuff, and we'd started a story from another sprint, from next sprint, but then realised that actually we hadn't finished this sprint yet because there's a big chunk of work that we hadn't done, so I'm going to try my best to get that smushed through and done. I'm actually going to do it in the morning, so that I can like kind of forget about it until Monday. I'm hoping to get like a full day's run at that to test it on Monday, so that's the plan there basically. Otherwise, it's been a pretty good day. I haven't slept much today. My eyes are struggling to sleep, but obviously I half nuked my, I've got to like, I had that day, didn't I, where I did it the other way around and didn't get up, you know, and I'm re-going through the pain to get back into it again. I think I confused my body clock. Otherwise it's going to be a worky weekend. Well, first day is going to be worky, the day after isn't. That is that for this video, ladies and gentlemen. We've rambled long enough. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you later.